I'm now with John Pearson on the Equipe Classic Racing Stand. Good morning, John, and welcome to Race Retro 2025.
Good morning, great to be here.
So can we just have a little bit of a talk first of all about Equipe Classic Racing, how now you organise your own meetings and where you're going from there?
Well, we started 15 years ago, my partner Rob and I. We took, as drivers, we took over a race series that we were driving in because it wasn't doing very well and it was failing, so we went, oh, we'll do that. And then people said, well, what about a second series and different cars? And so we went to 2 series and 3 series. We got to the point where we could not buy any track time off other people because we were too big. So we then had to take a step up to being a promoter, which meant we had to hire whole circuits, and that means you've got to fill whole weekends. So now, fast forward, here we are, we've got 9 separate grids of our own. We still sell the odd grid to other people, but we've got 10 events this year, including one abroad. We've got feature events. We're doing our first 6-hour race this year, so lots going on.
And of course you took over the MG International meeting at Silvertone a few years back, didn't you?
We did. The MG Car Club ran an MG thing called MG Live for 50 years. In the last few years of it, we were running the infrastructure for them. So we were running the racing anyway. So when the MG Car Club withdrew from racing, we said to Silverstone, we'll take that on. So we call that the Equipe Summer Classic. So one of the biggest meetings of the year for us. It's a huge meeting.
And you've got that shootout at the end of the year at Silverstone, haven't you? The
sprint is a lovely format. It is basically a series of 10-lap races where every time the top half go up, the bottom half go down, and through the day the racing gets more competitive because people get closer to where they should be. 4 big finals at the end of the day. Huge fun, huge fun.
So what was the last class you brought into your series of races?
We started last year an open wheeler format. We started with Formula 2 and Formula Atlantic. This year we've beefed that up. We now renamed that Formula Libra, and we are including Formula 4 2000, Classic Formula 3, and a few other classes to give a bigger entry point for other people.
So what about classic sports car racing?
Going from strength to strength, one of the things we have done is introduce a 70s grid, and I think what's happening, we can't escape the fact that the conveyor belt is moving on, and there's people coming into racing now. I mean, I didn't start racing until I was nearly 50, and my late 40s, and now when the people are coming along in their 40s thinking, I'd like to do some old car racing, they're looking at Escorts, Capris, they're looking at Sierras, they're looking at different things. So we've had a lot of interest in the 70s, which is going to be a big growth area, we think.
Well, that's right. There's so much classic cars about, aren't there, that were raced, just out there, aren't there? Really?
Yeah. I think there's no doubt we're all products of what we were lusting after when we were kids, and that's going to drive what we want to drive. It's almost ticking the box.
Yeah. So what about this car? Can you have a little bit of discussion on this new MGB?
Well, interestingly, this is where we started. We started with Equipe GTS, and we still run. It's still one of our premier grids. Equipe GTS is for smaller engined FIA cars. So it's under 2.7 litre, which means, and there are classes within that. So you've got MGBs, you've got TVRs, you've got Lotus Elites, you've got Sprites, you've got Austin Healey 100s. A huge range of cars. Because we keep the entry field quite low in terms of CCs. Very competitive racing. In fact, I would say this is the most competitive racing we have. Great fun.
And of course this company, MG Motorsports, built how many of these, did you say?
I think they built nearly 50 of these now for people, and we see them changing hands, and they do change hands at a premium because, as you can see, not only are they beautifully built, but also Doug Smith here, he's an ex-MG racer himself. His son Tom is the most successful MGB racer of all time. Really? Tom has won more cups in these cars, so what he's doing therefore is he's a showcase for these cars, and they're beautifully built and run very well.
It's immaculate. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Inside and out.
Well, it's for sale.
I don't race. Anyway, John, thanks very much for the interview, and I hope the series goes from strength to strength, and it looks like it will, while there's cars out there.
Let's hope.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, John. Thank you. Thank you very much.